Welcome to the Angus Report, a news program for cattle producers.
From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including one industry expert's outlook for 2013 beef production.
Colin Woodall of NCBA gives us his take on the recent fiscal package and the estate tax.
Farmers and ranchers in drought-stricken areas may be eligible for low-interest emergency loans. We look at the options with University of Missouri's Ron Plain.
And Paige Wallace reports on the upcoming World Angus Forum and a can't-miss tour of New Zealand. This is the Angus Report. Hello, I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. Cattlemen will likely see a decrease in overall beef production in 2013. That's according to Oklahoma State University's Derrell Peel, who anticipates a 4.8% decline in overall beef production this year. Of course, just how much it declines will largely depend on weather conditions.
Obviously, drought still holds the key to what happens in 2013, so we could moderate that decrease in production in 2013 a little bit with more drought. If we don't have drought and we start trying to stabilize the herd size and retain some heifers, we could actually see a slightly bigger decrease in beef production because we're holding back more animals for breeding purposes. In the world we're in now of higher corn prices, I think the industry in general is going to sort of reallocate how we produce things. So it could lead to somewhat lighter weights for cattle at slaughter. Much of that will happen at the feedlot level, but it may also impact the size of cattle, if you will, that work well out in the country from a cow-calf and a stocker standpoint. And so that will certainly put more pressure on wholesale and retail prices as we go forward, and we should see that happen in the first quarter of the year with the decreases in beef production taking effect here right away.
When Congress passed the fiscal cliff package earlier this month, it not only extended current Farm Bill policy, it also passed important legislation that solidifies estate taxes. Estate tax levels are now considered permanent and allow for tax exemptions of $5 million per person and $10 million per couple. NCBA's Vice President of Government Affairs, Colin Woodall, explains why this is an important step for cattlemen.
It's a bit of a mixed bag for us. On one side, there's a lot of good in this package. Probably the best part of it is the fact that the death tax levels that we've been working so hard on for several years now have been made permanent. So that's a $5 million exemption per person, $10 million per couple, and that amount has been indexed to inflation and will continue to grow over time. We've been able to make that permanent, and that is big. So that's the best part. The bad part about that, though, is that the tax rate moved from 35% up to 40% on everything over that exemption amount. Now, if you just look at it on the surface value, that's not exactly a good move, but when you look at the bigger conversation that went on around that, it's still not bad because the Democrats, especially the president, wanted to take the exemption amount down to $3.5 million and bump the tax rate up to 45%. So the fact that we were able to keep our $5 million and $10 million exemptions is a great compromise when we only had to give up 5% of tax rate.
The USDA has designated almost 600 counties as primary disaster areas due to drought. The designation spans 14 states and makes all qualified farm operations eligible for low-interest emergency loans. The designation was announced in just week 2 of 2013. Ag economist Ron Plain of the University of Missouri says farmers and livestock producers should weigh their options when considering the loans, which are currently set at 2.15% interest.
Low interest rate loans can be very appealing, but the farmer needs to have a plan on what they're going to do with that money, something that will generate savings and income. That loan needs to work for you to help cut costs or improve efficiency. Debt is a risk. The more debt you have, the greater risk your farm is in. So those farmers who can keep their debt load low can get by without having to borrow, even in difficult times like this.
Contact your local farm service agency or visit the FSA's Disaster Designations page at fsa.usda.gov to see if you qualify for low-interest emergency loans.
Recent analysis of wholesale beef prices show the value difference between choice and select grade beef. From July 2010 to July 2012, Urner-Barry data show a difference of more than $62 for choice versus select grade beef. The wholesale price for the certified Angus beef brand over select was more than double that, at more than $127. In a technical report from Certified Angus Beef, Further analysis of boxed beef premiums show highly correlated trends with choice grade premiums. Look for the Black Ink Basics technical summary at cabpartners.com to learn more about the wholesale beef analysis.
When the Angus Report returns, Paige Wallace reports on the upcoming World Angus Forum.
And AGI's Tanya Amon explains accuracy when it comes to genetic selection.
Visit angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.